I'd lived in that apartment for 8 months before I even learned his name. Evan, the guy next door. Mid-30s. Always in black. Worked weird hours. Never smiled. But God, he was beautiful. Strong jaw. Quiet eyes. Broad shoulders. You could tell he used to be athletic before something in him shut off. We'd nod in the hallway. That was it. Until the night I came home soaked from the rain, shaking from a fight with my ex, and dropped my keys. Evan opened his door. "You good?" he asked. His voice was deeper than I expected. "Yeah." I lied. He didn't push, just opened his door wider. "You want to come in until the storm passes?" I did. His place was dark, calm, sparse. Books everywhere. A guitar. No photos. He handed me a towel. "You want a drink?" I nodded. That night, we didn't talk about much. Just sat there. Two strangers, half lit by lightning flashes, sharing silence. But when I stood to leave, he said, "I've seen you watching me." My breath caught. "What?" "On the stairs. In the mailroom. You look like you're waiting for something." I couldn't speak. He stepped closer. "I've been alone a long time, and I'm not good at people. But I don't want to wonder anymore." I whispered, "Wonder what?" "What it would feel like to be touched by someone who wants me." His hand grazed mine, then my wrist, then my jaw. I kissed him first, slow, unsure. But he pulled me closer, deeper, until I was pressed against his chest and every inch of his loneliness melted into mine. We didn't rush. He let me undress him piece by piece. Hesitating, trembling, hard already. "I've never done this," he said. "I know," I said. "Just let me guide you." I kissed every inch of him, laid him down, and when I slid inside, he gasped like it broke something inside him open. "Don't stop," he whispered. "Don't leave me alone in this." I moved slow, tender, holding his face, his hips. His body clung to mine like he hadn't felt human in years. And when he came, shaking and breathless, he collapsed against my chest and stayed there. For a long time, after we lay in silence. No TV, no phones, just skin and breath. Then he whispered, "I thought this part of me was dead." "It's not," I said. "It's just been waiting." He nodded. I left in the morning, but when I passed his door that night, it was already open. Story 2. His secret was me. I always knew something was different about Dean. He wasn't the loudest or the most charming guy at our university, but people noticed him. The quiet confidence, the brooding intensity, and the tattoos, like each one had a story no one was allowed to ask about. We weren't friends. Not at first. He was in my philosophy class, always sitting in the back row, scribbling in a notebook he never let anyone see. I was the kid who asked too many questions. The guy who wore nail polish and didn't care. One day I sat next to him. He glanced at me, said nothing, and kept writing. But from that day forward, I always sat there. And over time, he stopped ignoring me. First a nod, then a smirk, then a full sentence. "You ever shut up?" I didn't, and he liked it. We started talking after class, then grabbing coffee, then staying up way too late watching weird documentaries in his dorm, sitting far too close. He never said much, but his silences spoke volumes. One night, he showed me a page from his notebook. It was a sketch. 2 men in bed, holding each other, their foreheads touching. It was beautiful and sad. He looked away. "I've never shown anyone that. Is it about you?" He didn't answer, just closed the notebook and whispered, "I don't know what I am." I reached for his hand. "You don't have to know yet." That was the first time he let someone touch him. The next week, he kissed me. It wasn't romantic. It was desperate, like he was fighting something inside himself and losing. I felt his whole body shake. When we pulled apart, he looked at me like I might hate him. I didn't. Kissed him again. Slower. Softer. We spent the night together. Not having sex, but holding each other. Sharing our fears, our wounds. He told me about his father. About the pastor who told him his feelings were sin. About how he locked everything away for years. And I told him I wasn't going anywhere. Weeks passed. We grew closer. In public, we were just classmates. In private, he was mine. Still hesitant. Still scared. But opening up more each time. The first time we slept together, he cried. Not out of pain, but release. I feel like I can finally breathe, he said, lying on my chest. I kissed his forehead and whispered, then don't stop. By spring, he was introducing me to his sister, holding my hand under the table, leaving a sketch of us taped to my door. Dean never labeled himself. He didn't need to. He was mine, and I was his. That was enough. Title: Story 3, Deployment. We met on base, somewhere in the desert, far from the world we both left behind. Jackson was the kind of soldier that everyone followed instinctively, tall, lean, commanding without even trying. I was newer, quieter, with a chip on my shoulder and too much to prove. Our friendship started in the weight room. He spotted me, said I had good form. That was the first compliment I'd heard in months. Then we started training together, eating meals, talking about anything but home. One night, after a sandstorm knocked out power, we sat on the roof of the barracks, looking up at a sky full of stars. It was the first moment of peace I'd had in ages. He handed me a cigarette. You ever miss touching someone? I didn't answer right away. Yeah, I finally said. Every day. He nodded. Same. The silence between us buzzed with electricity. I knew what he was really asking. He flicked ash off the edge of the roof. Ever been with a guy? I turned to him. Have you? He looked straight ahead. Once. Years ago. I thought it didn't mean anything. And now. He met my eyes for the first time. Now I think about you. A lot. I leaned in. Just enough. And he met me halfway. The kiss was quiet. No fireworks. No music. Just skin, breath, and a shared hunger we'd both buried for too long. That night, we didn't go back inside. We lay under the stars, side by side, not touching, but closer than ever. The next weeks were a blur of stolen glances, brushing arms, bunk room whispers. We couldn't risk anyone finding out. But it didn't matter. Every time we trained, it was like foreplay. Every time he handed me a towel, my fingers burned. Finally, one night, he pulled me into a supply closet and kissed me like he was drowning. I need this, he said. I need you. We locked the door, hands on skin, backs against walls, quiet groans. Every second felt like a lifetime. After, he rested his forehead against mine. Promise me we'll find each other when we're out of here. I will, I whispered, and I meant it. War is chaos, but what we had, that was the most honest thing I'd ever known.